Discovering John Stuart Mill, Enlightenment and Insights. John Stuart Mill emerged as a pivotal British philosopher and economist in the early 19th century, marking his birth in 1806. His intellectual contributions spanned various fields, including ethics, liberty, and economics, establishing him as a leading figure in philosophical thought and economic theory during his time. From a tender age, Mill demonstrated extraordinary intellectual capabilities, thanks to the rigorous education imposed by his father, James Mill. This unique upbringing set the stage for his later achievements, showcasing the early signs of a child prodigy destined for greatness in the realms of philosophy and economics. By the age of 3, Mill's academic journey took a remarkable turn as he began learning Greek, a feat that showcased his prodigious capabilities. This early start was a precursor to his proficiency in Latin by the age of 8, further cementing his status as an exceptional learner and thinker. Opting for an unconventional route, Mill's education was conducted largely within the confines of his home. This absence of formal schooling did not hinder his intellectual growth. Instead, it provided a personalized learning environment that catered to his prodigious intellect, allowing him to explore a vast array of subjects deeply and broadly. In 1823, Mill embarked on a professional journey with the British East India Company, marking the beginning of a long and fruitful career that lasted until the company's dissolution in 1858. This period of his life was instrumental in shaping his thoughts and writings on liberty, ethics, and economics, contributing significantly to his legacy as a leading philosopher and economist. John Stuart Mill's intellectual legacy is vast, but he is particularly renowned for his profound contributions to liberty, ethics, and economics. His ideas have laid the groundwork for much of modern liberal thought, advocating for the individual's right to freedom and expression against the overreach of government authority. His seminal work, On Liberty, remains a cornerstone in political and philosophical discussions about the balance between society's needs and individual freedoms. In it, Mill passionately argues for the importance of allowing individuals to live as they wish, provided they do not harm others. This principle has influenced countless debates on freedom of speech and action. Mill was also a pivotal figure in the development of utilitarian ethics, building upon the foundation laid by his godfather, Jeremy Bentham. However, Mill introduced a significant revision by arguing that not all pleasures are equal, emphasizing the superiority of intellectual and moral pleasures over more base forms of happiness. At a young age, Mill experienced a mental health crisis, deeply questioning the emotional underpinnings of his utilitarian beliefs. This period of introspection led him to acknowledge the importance of emotional well-being and the development of character, enriching his philosophical outlook and making his work more nuanced. The influence of Harriet Taylor, Mill's wife, was profound on his thinking, particularly regarding women's rights and liberty. Their partnership was not only a personal union but also an intellectual collaboration that significantly shaped Mill's work on social and political reform, highlighting the importance of equal rights and opportunities for women. John Stuart Mill's intellectual journey was profoundly influenced by his relationship with Harriet Taylor. Over 2 decades of close friendship before their marriage in 1851, Taylor was a pivotal figure in shaping Mill's views, especially on women's rights and liberty. Their partnership is a testament to the impact personal relationships can have on philosophical development. The culmination of their partnership was seen in Mill's advocacy for women's suffrage. As the first British MP to call for this right in 1866, Mill broke new ground in political advocacy. His stance was not just a political statement but also a reflection of the deep influence Harriet had on his beliefs and the shared vision they had for a society based on equality. Principles of Political Economy, published in 1848, further showcased Mill's intellect and breadth of knowledge. The text, which became a cornerstone of economic study for decades, illustrated his ability to meld economic theory with social philosophy. Mill's work in economics was not just about wealth and productivity but also about improving the human condition through equitable distribution and ethical considerations. Mill's contemplation of socialism within a framework of liberty and democratic governance was radical for his time. He envisioned a society where the principles of socialism could coexist with individual freedoms and democratic values. This vision was indicative of his belief in the potential for societal structures to evolve and adapt to ensure both collective welfare and personal liberty. During the American Civil War, Mill's support for the North was rooted in his unwavering opposition to slavery. He saw the conflict not just as a political struggle but as a moral crusade against the grave injustice of slavery. His stance underscored his commitment to liberty and human rights, further cementing his legacy as a thinker who fiercely championed the cause of freedom and equality. John Stuart Mill was a vocal supporter of the North during the American Civil War, seeing it as a pivotal battle against the scourge of slavery. His stance was rooted in his deep commitment to liberty and human rights, advocating for the Union as a means to end the inhumane practice of enslavement. Mill introduced the harm principle, a cornerstone of ethical and legal philosophy that suggests actions should only be restricted to prevent harm to others. This principle became a fundamental concept in discussions of liberty and justice, reflecting Mill's belief in the importance of individual freedom within societal bounds. A significant aspect of Mill's thought was his nuanced approach to utilitarianism. He sought to refine Bentham's theory by arguing for distinctions between higher and lower pleasures, suggesting that intellectual and moral pleasures hold greater value. This revision aimed to create a more sophisticated framework for determining ethical actions. Despite his strong advocacy for liberty, Mill harbored complex views on colonialism. He supported it under certain conditions, believing in the potential for beneficial governance if conducted with respect for the rights and cultures of colonized peoples. This stance has sparked debate among scholars regarding Mill's principles of liberty and governance. Mill's tenure as a member of Parliament from 1865 to 1868 allowed him to influence public policy directly. During this time, he was a pioneering voice for women's suffrage, showcasing his commitment to equality and justice. His advocacy in Parliament underscored his belief in the importance of extending democratic rights to all citizens. John Stuart Mill's tenure as a member of the British Parliament from 1865 to 1868 marked a significant period where he brought his philosophical insights into the legislative realm. His advocacy for reform and progressive policies highlighted his commitment to applying his ethical principles to practical governance. As a founding member of the Liberal Party in the UK, Mill's political actions were underpinned by his deep-rooted beliefs in liberty, equality, and the importance of individual rights. His involvement in the party helped shape its early ideology, emphasizing freedom, reform, and the crucial role of education in society. Mill's autobiography, published posthumously in 1873, offers a window into the profound intellectual journey of one of the 19th century's most influential thinkers. This personal account sheds light on his development, from a prodigious child to a leading philosopher, providing readers with an intimate understanding of his philosophical evolution. His death in Avignon, France, in 1873, and subsequent burial next to Harriet Taylor, reflects the profound influence she had on his life and work. Their partnership was not just personal but deeply intellectual, with Taylor significantly shaping Mill's views on women's rights and individual freedom. Mill's enduring influence on liberal thought and public policy into the 21st century attests to the timelessness of his ideas. His works continue to inspire debates on liberty, ethics, and governance, underscoring the lasting impact of his contributions to philosophy and political economy. John Stuart Mill ardently believed in the paramount importance of freedom of thought and expression. He argued that a society's progress and vitality are directly linked to its protection of these freedoms. Mill saw them as essential for discovering truth and fostering individual development, emphasizing that even unpopular opinions hold value in challenging societal norms. Mill's advocacy for individuality and diversity of character was central to his philosophy. He contended that nurturing a variety of personalities and ideas was crucial for a vibrant and healthy society. Mill feared the tyranny of the majority and the pressure to conform could stifle creativity and innovation, leading to societal stagnation. In his work on political economy, Mill underscored the significance of competition and innovation. He viewed these elements as drivers of economic progress and prosperity. Mill cautioned, however, that unchecked competition could lead to social inequalities, advocating for a balance that fostered both economic vitality and social welfare. Mill was a vocal critic of blindly following customs or traditions without questioning their validity. He believed that questioning societal norms was essential for moral and intellectual advancement. By challenging accepted practices, individuals contribute to the evolution of their communities and the betterment of society at large. His contributions to the theory of democracy were profound, with Mill advocating for proportional representation. He argued that this system would ensure a fairer representation of diverse societal views in governance. Mill's vision for democracy was inclusive, aiming to give voice to all segments of society and thereby enriching the democratic process. John Stuart Mill's groundbreaking work, The Subjection of Women, published in 1869, marked a pivotal moment in the fight for gender equality. In it, Mill argued passionately for the rights of women, emphasizing that societal progress was impossible without affording women the same freedoms as men. His advocacy laid foundational stones for future feminist movements, challenging deeply ingrained societal norms and sparking debates on women's rights. Mill's perspective on environmental conservation was remarkably ahead of its time. He recognized the intrinsic value of nature, beyond its mere utility to humans. By advocating for the preservation of natural landscapes, Mill underscored the importance of maintaining ecological balance. His views highlighted the need to view the environment as a shared resource deserving of respect and protection, not just exploitation. On education, Mill was a fervent proponent of nurturing critical and independent thinking. He believed that a well-rounded education was crucial in developing individuals capable of questioning and analyzing the world around them. For Mill, education wasn't just about acquiring knowledge, but about fostering the ability to think autonomously, a principle that remains relevant in today's educational philosophies. Mill's emphasis on the cultivation of moral feelings alongside intellectual development is a testament to his holistic view of human progress. He argued that moral and intellectual growth should be pursued concurrently, suggesting that the development of empathy and ethical reasoning was as important as intellectual achievement. This approach to human development underscores the importance of nurturing well-rounded individuals capable of contributing positively to society. In his advocacy for utilitarianism, Mill championed the principle of seeking the greatest happiness for the greatest number. This ethical framework proposed that actions should be judged based on their consequences, specifically their ability to maximize happiness or minimize suffering. Mill's refinement of utilitarianism added a qualitative dimension to the assessment of pleasures, influencing moral philosophy and ethical decision-making processes across various fields. John Stuart Mill's exploration of free will versus determinism delved into the heart of human agency. His keen analysis provided a philosophical framework that continues to influence debates on how much control we truly have over our actions. Mill's insights challenged the notion that our choices are entirely predestined. Mill stood as an early critic against the societal and psychological shackles of conformity. He believed that the pressure to adhere to societal norms stifled individual creativity and personal growth. Through his writings, he advocated for the courage to pursue personal convictions, even in the face of widespread societal opposition. Championing labor rights, Mill supported the cause of trade unions and cooperative ventures. He saw these as vital mechanisms for protecting workers from exploitation and promoting fair labor practices. Mill's advocacy laid foundational ideas for the modern labor movement, emphasizing the importance of collective action in achieving social and economic justice. In his considerations on taxation, Mill advocated for a system that emphasized fairness and aimed to reduce inequalities. He believed in a progressive tax system where the wealthy contributed more, reflecting his commitment to social equity. Mill's ideas on taxation continue to influence contemporary discussions on fiscal policy and economic justice. Despite living in the 19th century, Mill's progressive views on gender equality and individual freedoms resonate strongly today. His advocacy for women's rights and his criticism of gender norms showcased his forward thinking. Mill's work serves as a timeless reminder of the importance of challenging societal conventions to create a more equitable world.